It's now time for Ermanni and Edwards with Maz, live on the Woodward Sports Network. Every day, 2 to 4 p.m. Starring Ryan Ermanni, Michigan great and former NFL baller Braylon Edwards, and of course, Tom Mazaway. Let's talk some sports.
Hey, let's go! Monday show, November 27, 2023. Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Woodward Sports Network, woodwardsports.com, fox2detroit.com if you're watching live on the Fox Local app. If you are watching on YouTube, we say hello, everybody. Hit that subscribe button and that like button. It helps YouTube push our content out to more people. Tom Mazaway, good afternoon to you, my friend.
Man, what a great weekend of football, minus the Lions. We won't count that. That was a weekday game. Man, I was so happy to be there on Saturday. And I got stories galore for you on my way to walk into the big house. All the crap you had to walk through, all the people you had to hear, all the scarlet and gray, all the talking, all the cheating, all that bull crap. I cannot wait to talk about this. What a great day, and to see Braylon out there with the 2003 Big Ten champions was awesome too. And I saw you and the kids at home celebrating. Great day, guys.
It was just one of those games, and it's what sports does to us. Sports turns us into
Kids,
madmen. Just, it takes us to a place you wouldn't normally be. Mark Fellauer tweeted out a picture of 100,000 people, 110,000 people, most of them on the field after the game. And he just said, yeah, sports. And that's exactly right. There is nothing else that I think can make you feel that way. Where, you know, I said to my wife, I said, you know, I'm a 44-year-old, married, father of two, with 2 full-time jobs. And this game turned me into a nutbag.
Yep.
You know, I mean, it just totally took me to a place that it's like an out-of-body experience. And it's like, why? It is a hatred. And Jim Harbaugh talked about this hatred at the podium today in Ann Arbor and said this hatred is not contrived or manufactured, but a little bit manufactured by television. And it's not healthy for anybody. I was telling all my friends, I was talking so much junk that if Michigan didn't win that game, I think I would have had to go hide under a boulder for like a month.
Yep.
You know, I mean, but in the end, Michigan did win the game. They were the better team. They had the better quarterback. And for the 3rd year in a row, Michigan wins the football game. And it means everything. It means everything. Never trailed one time in this football game, Maz.
Fantastic game. And the video you just saw was a video from my iPhone. And I just stood there and just watched the joy. And Jim Branstad was over my shoulder in the press box. So I got to hear him talking all game. And he got to go call the last play. Doug Karsh let him in there, let him have the mic like Ken Cal did with Bruce Martin back in '97. It was fantastic. And Ohio State has been vanquished, was his words. And it was just phenomenal. And that was my first time in the brand new Michigan press box.
Really?
I went to the old one, you know, back in the day.
Yeah.
Because I like being out in the crowd usually.
Yeah.
But this one, I'm like, I'm going to go to the press box for this game. And I had a great seat. Sat with a lot of fun people, a lot of great people. John Yu was there. Got to rub elbows with him.
And we'll talk to John Yu coming up in about 25 minutes from now.
It was just a fantastic day. And I park in the gray lot, which was by Yost.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and it's a pretty decent walk. But I pull in, and there wasn't a spot to be had in this lot. There wasn't a spot everywhere. People were getting $125 within a 3-block radius of the stadium to park in their driveway. $125. If you went about a mile out, you were paying $75. Yeah. And when you got off the highway, you were paying $50 to get in that place. There were 111,000 in the stadium. I think there were more people outside the stadium. and enjoying this game. And walking in with those Ohio State fans, and they were loud and boisterous and mean, and you know what they were saying. You guys are cheaters. You guys got nothing. You guys are – I'll never have to hear the word cheater again because they did the job they were supposed to do, and they did it without their head coach on the sidelines. Hats off to you, Sharon Moore.
I think that's one of the reasons, just, to put the elephant in the room, I think that's one of the reasons why that game mattered to me personally so much as a Michigan fan. And the last time we had John Yu on, one of the things he said was this game counts for 3. And he was right about that. And the thought behind it is if Michigan loses this game, that would give so much ammunition to those who believe the only reason that Michigan won those previous 2 matchups against Ohio State over the last 2 seasons was because they cheated. And if Michigan lost this game to Ohio State, this would give ammunition to those people that say, well, see, there you have it. Michigan can't beat Ohio State if they don't cheat. And I think anybody that knows anything about football understands that, like Joel Klatt said, the advantage isn't all that great. It's just not. When I was in high school football, we had coaches shouting from the sidelines based on how the left tackle is lining up.
It's a pass.
It's a pass.
Yeah.
It's a run.
Yep.
It's a pass. We do that in high school. So I believe if they have that ability to do that in high school, if the Grosse Pointe Red Barons against the St. Clair Shores Green Hornets, if those coaching staffs have the ability to know whether it's a run or a pass, I guarantee you that they can do that at the college level too. So that point alone made up for the past 2 years. Now, there are still going to be people out there that say Michigan cheated and anything Michigan does from this point forward is discounted, and that's fine. But at least we know now, right, that Michigan is simply the better team. Michigan is the tougher team. Michigan earned the win in 21. They earned the win in 22, and they certainly earned the win in 23. Michigan is a better football team. Michigan is a better football program than Ohio State is, and that's just the way it is.
Now, let's face it. It was a close game, and it could have went either way. It really could have. Michigan did a great job. They lost a couple of big, important players, one on offense on the line, one on the defensive backfield in Will Johnson. They did what they had to do. But let's just say, let's call it what it was. If Ohio State maybe had an extra 30 seconds or a minute, maybe the game's a little different. I don't know. They looked pretty damn good. And Jim Harbaugh said it. That's the better Ohio State team. Best I've seen in the last 4 years. That's what Jim Harbaugh said. And I know he wasn't there. He was at home. I was hoping he was at Chrysler Arena. And he would run. They would golf cart him in, and he'd be there. We wouldn't be able to see him anyway because of the way the crowd jumped in. But that was a hell of a team. That's no team to be messed around with. And Ryan Day kind of played it close to the vest most of that game. I think if they would have passed a little bit more, they might have had a better chance to win this game. But you know what? Michigan played their hand perfectly. Never trailed in the game, and scored when they had to. Hats off to the field goal team. Phenomenal job by those guys. Because you don't hit those, you lose that game.
Well, yeah. It's
like Buffalo did yesterday.
Definitely a much different game. And let's call it out. James Turner, the transfer from Indiana, I believe. Did he go to Indiana? Either way.
He took Jake Moody's place.
Right. And he was lights out.
Yeah.
3 field goals, made every extra point. And
1 from 50.
He was the difference in this one. And he did not have any pressure kicks at any point in the season.
Nope.
And yes, Ohio State is a good football team. Ohio State, if you believe the rankings, was a top 5 football team.
To me, they still are.
They were a top 3 football team. They were ranked number 2 in the country, and they were ranked number 2 in the country for a reason, because they're good. But Michigan was just better.
They were.
And they have been better. And this rivalry has completely flipped on its head. It Absolutely has. For 18 of 20 years or whatever the number was,
they owned it.
Ohio State had Michigan's number. And now Ohio State is the team that is left scratching their heads trying to figure out how to compete with Michigan, how to beat Michigan. And Sharon Moore outcoached Ryan Day.
He did.
In every phase of the game, in every way possible, Ryan Day coached scared. Sharon Moore was in attack mode. And that 4th and 1 pass.
Beautiful.
I mean,
I don't know why they didn't
sack.
Listen, the last 4 plays of offense that Michigan had with the field goal, so the last 3, I didn't like them. Running up in the middle. I think I know they want the clock to keep going, but I believe JJ on a rollout is unstoppable and with his RPO, right? You put that guy in motion, and it's tough to beat Michigan. It really is. JJ is at his best when he is on the move. He knows what to do. This kid, he's got the brains, man, and he's got the arm as well. He played a hell of a game. Not a lot of yards, but a hell of a game.
Isn't he as efficient a quarterback as we've seen in the country? I mean, that touchdown pass to Roman Wilson was...
It's impossible.
Just an incredible seed. And look, you can make fun of me all you want for saying JJ will be the number 1 pick. And whatever.
He won't be.
He won't be. Yeah. Fine, whatever.
Maybe he'll come back.
Maybe he will come back because now NIL, and if you believe what Marvin Harrison is saying, he's considering coming back.
He's not coming
I don't
back.
believe he's coming back. But
that guy could play them tomorrow.
But
on
again,
Sunday.
NIL even allows you to have the conversation. That's the only reason you could even remotely have the conversation. But there was a report that's saying that Marvin Harrison was considering coming back to Ohio State, even though that's most likely not the case. That throw, that touchdown pass to Roman Wilson, is exactly why I say what I say about J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah.
It's exactly what you would want in a quarterback at the next level. He is one of the best, if not the best quarterbacks ever to play the position at Michigan. And it's because of that Michigan is 12-0 and heading to another Big Ten championship game. And you know what you have if you don't have that type of quarterback play from J.J. McCarthy? You know what Michigan is then? They're Ohio State.
Yeah.
That is just good enough to lose a close game.
How about bringing in Alex Orji for a few plays?
How about that?
That was something. That was a great wrinkle, and Ohio State wasn't ready for it.
It was. But again, J.J. McCarthy was better than Kyle McCord. And it was that one-on-one battle, J.J. and McCord, that was the difference. Because McCord is not that guy. He's not an elite quarterback, and he cost him the game. So, man, it was just one of those out-of-body experiences watching that game. And, Maz, you were in the building. Pretty incredible stuff. You're going to hear from Roman Wilson on Ohio State. What did Desmond say about Pete Thamel? ESPN's voice is under fire. We're going to get to all of that next.
Can't wait.
But first, a message from Dispo.
Well, speaking of an experience Dispo Romeo, a team that curates an exclusive atmosphere for you, mixed with fresh ingredients from Michigan's largest variety of products. The first ever cannabis mall of its kind is conveniently located off of Van Dyke and 32 Mile Road in Romeo. Dispo Romeo is now open late night until midnight, except for Sundays. You can get in there at any time you want. It's Dispo Dispensary. Check them out online today at disposhops.com. Dispo, your local cannabis plug.
We've just received word. The world's cannabis supply has vanished. The public is outraged and has taken to the streets in response to this tragedy. The individual responsible acted alone, and we can only hope they will make things right soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
When buying or selling real estate, flexibility and control of the sales process is key. Sellers, how would you like the freedom of canceling your listing agreement at any time for any reason with no penalty? That is exactly what Mark White and Associate offers. It's called the Minute-by-Minute Listing Agreement by Mark White and Associates. Try Mark White's risk-free minute-to-minute listing agreement today. Looking to buy or sell real estate? Visit markwhitesales.com or give them a call at 248-290-8242. markwhitesales.com, where flexibility meets success.
Get a sense that they were more physical?
Definitely not. I mean, like, I told the receivers this whole week, like, you got guys back there, like, this is the thing that I thought, too, like, guys who you want to put on, like, the Louis V, like, the $1,000 outfit, like, you want to act hard, but when we're out there, like, they're not hard. Like, I see the film, like, you're not tough. Like, and I don't think I'm the toughest guy in the world, but, you know, I'm out there, I'm getting physical. Like, I don't think they wanted it like how I wanted it.
You guys agree with that? Yeah, I said it.
I don't think they wanted it how I wanted it. And that was Roman Wilson talking about Ohio State and how soft they were. Welcome in Ermanni and Edwards with Maz. Braylon out today. Ryan Ermanni, Tom Mazaway alongside. We got JB, we got Kool-Aid. The fellas are here. Just that part alone, Maz. Remember when years ago, prior to this 3-game winning streak, it was Ohio State treats this game like it's everything. Ohio State does something each and every day to beat Michigan. One of my buddies that I know was on staff at Ohio State for many, many years under Urban Meyer, and one of the things that he said was, we live, eat, breathe this rivalry. And just hearing Roman Wilson say that, it kind of feels like even that now has kind of gone Michigan's way. Michigan is on top, and they, impress their will on Ohio State, and that rivalry means more to Michigan now than perhaps Ohio State.
Well, I don't know about that. I just think Michigan has caught them and now have passed them. The last 3 years have proven that. They dominated the 2 years prior. This game, they worked a little harder for it, but they never trailed. And both teams want this. They don't even call it. They don't call us Michigan. We don't call them Ohio State. There's a lot of hate here. It's Yankees and Boston Red Sox hate, man, except here in the Midwest, which is fantastic. It's sports hate. You're allowed to hate, guys, as long as it's sports hate. Real hate, you don't want to do that. Sports hate is good for you. And to beat Ohio State like they did the past 3 years, that game on Saturday almost made me get over trouble with the snap. And I'll probably never get over that. But
because you feel the program changed on that day.
I do. Like I said it many times. I think I saw the ghost of Jim Harbaugh exit his body that day. And he got it back a few years later. It took the COVID year probably to get it back. But they've turned it around. And if they want to keep this going in the right direction, the amazing blue way, that direction, they better hold on to this guy. And I don't know what's going to happen right now. They won. Now we'll see what happens in the playoff. They got to beat Iowa. Iowa's not a bad team. They're not going to score.
They can't score more than 7 points. So if you feel like if Michigan can get to 10, they'll be okay.
I hope so. I think but I'm not going to pee all over them. It's a 3-touchdown spread.
Right.
They should handle Iowa, and when they do, we'll see who the other 3 teams are in the playoff, because that's way up for debate, thanks to Alabama pulling a Houdini on Saturday. They had a chance to kill that team, Auburn did, and they let the genie out of the bottle. That's all I'm going to say. That Alabama team, be careful. You might not want to play them. But Michigan, They'll be in the Final Four for the third straight year.
You said sports hate. You talked about sports hate, and I think that is a really healthy word to say. This felt like this whole last couple of weeks with the sports hate, it felt like it crossed over into real hate. And I know, I'll speak for myself, it felt like it crossed over into real hate for me even. Hating Ohio State.
For what they did.
Hating Ryan Day.
Correct.
Because I believe this whole thing is derived from Ryan Day, allegedly. It has come from
and
him.
Schiano.
Who is an Ohio State guy himself. Schiano and Ryan Day have totally started this whole sign-stealing fiasco, investigation, and allegation, whatever the case may be. This is derived from them. And the Big Ten took their word for it, and the Big Ten was all in, essentially, allegedly, for them.
Yeah.
And I think the Big Ten, nobody wanted Michigan to win this game. ESPN did not want Michigan to win. And even that, there was a call for a boycott and this of College Game Day, and that was not the case. But even Desmond Howard called out one of their premier reporters. And one of the things that he said was, how long we been doing this? What's this, week 12, week 13? Mm-hmm. Yeah, something like that. How come Pete Thamel is in the stadium? He's always in the crowd. Put your big boy pants on. Yeah. Why isn't he in the crowd? And then Reese Davis, I think, was a little bit stunned by that.
You mean Pete Thamel's groom?
Yeah, right. I mean, he was a little bit stunned and taken back by Desmond's calling out of Pete Thamel, but he's like, all it takes is one crazy. Well, what do you mean, dude? Like, stand by what you say, report your reports, whatever, stand by them, and then come and do your reporting out where you have done your reporting for each of the past 13 weeks of the season. And Desmond called him out for that. And again, that goes to, if you believe, we just flashed what David Schuster put up on the screen, that some at ESPN are not happy with the way this whole thing has unfolded. Clearly a lot of soul searching in Columbus, Ohio, and in Bristol, Connecticut headquarters. The channel's biased, errant, speculative crap led by Feinbaum and Pete Thamel backfired in epic fashion. ESPN management already under major money pressure. Some execs reportedly are livid. Also, the pregame viewership for Big Noon Kickoff show appear to have set records. In stark contrast, College Game Day viewership cratered. More proof ESPN goofed by not acquiring the Big Ten rights and the past 4 weeks of unfairly dumping all over U of M.
You think that's why they did it? Because they don't have the Big Ten anymore? So they decided, let's take a crap on Michigan, their biggest brand? Because don't forget, you got Stephen A. and Shannon Sharp. They crapped on him as well.
I live by a simple rule. If you want to know anything in your life, it's a 3-word rule. And 99 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, I say you're right. And those 3 words are follow the money. Follow the money. And ESPN, I almost said BSPN.
Yeah. I don't respect them anymore.
I really don't.
I was their number one guy.
I know.
Since 1982. They don't give a damn about me or my kind anymore.
No. BSPN is not, to me, like this impartial. They're just like everybody else. Let's be honest.
I guess so.
They've got no financial stake in the Big Ten. Do you know they would love to get a Big 12 team, an ACC team, and 2 SEC teams in there?
Yeah.
I mean,
of course.
Come on. So they played it up, and man, I'll tell you, I think it backfired on them. I do think it backfired on ESPN.
Hey, there's a guy on the air here in Detroit, and we all know who he is.
Valeni?
Yeah.
Okay.
And people would say,
let's just talk like real people here.
People would say, hey, Mike, you talk all this crap, you say all this about the teams, but you don't go to the games.
Right.
You don't go to the practices. It's the same thing here with Thamel. Same freaking thing. Stephen A., well, where are these guys now? That's all I want to say. Where are these guys now?
Well, again, there's a market for that. And back when I was coming up, even a little bit, you show up to the locker, you say something about somebody, and then you show up to his locker the next day and you have it out face to face.
Correct.
You don't do that anymore.
No.
You don't need to do that anymore. In fact, the less you do that, it seems like the higher your profile gets raised. Like, where's Feinbaum? Where's Feinbaum on a week like this?
Well, he's happy with Alabama, what they did. He really would have been hiding had Auburn did what they were supposed to do and finish that game off.
But whether it's Feinbaum or Thamel or ESPN or whatever, I just feel good for the Michigan players. I feel good for the Michigan players, and I feel good for Sharon Moore. Sharon Moore coached his tail off. Sharon Moore outcoached Ryan Day, and those players out there validated how good they were on that field in Ann Arbor on Saturday. They validated everything they've done leading up to this point. And for those people that talked about Michigan's schedule as well, I don't see, as I'm looking at my computer right now, I don't believe there is a team in the top 10 of the country in the Associated Press that has 2 wins over top 10 teams. Mm-hmm. So for as bad as Michigan's schedule was, at the end of the season, there isn't a team that has 2 better wins on it than Michigan.
I know, but you really counting Penn State?
Dude, they're a top 10 team.
I know, but I wouldn't vote him in.
Okay, they're a top 10 team.
I think James Madison could beat him.
Okay, fine. But James Madison is not – they don't have 2 top 10 wins either.
I understand.
Does anybody have 2 top 15 wins on this schedule? I guess Alabama would have a couple of top 15 wins, but there's nobody with 2 top 10 wins.
Look at Washington. They escaped with their lives against Washington State.
Yeah.
As well. And Oregon was probably the best win of the week was Oregon.
There's no doubt. So, lot to get to on this Monday. We'll get into some Lions. It was a very disappointing Thursday game, Thanksgiving game. But if there was anything to get that taste out of your mouth, man, boy, was the Michigan game on Saturday one for the ages or what. Coming up next, we'll talk to John U. Bacon, Michigan historian, New York Times bestseller. Where does Michigan go from here? We'll talk about the weekend in Ann Arbor. We'll do it next. But first, a message from Planet Fitness.
Yes, Planet Fitness is your home of the judgment-free zone where anyone, and I do mean anyone, can feel comfortable and work on their fitness goals. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym with tons of equipment, a full body workout in just 30 minutes in a 30-minute circuit, and all memberships include fitness training. You get all this just for $10 a month with no commitment. Remember, no matter where you are, there is always a Planet Fitness nearby with more than 50 convenient locations in the Metro Detroit area and thousands more throughout the world. Find your local Planet Fitness today to join or visit them online today at planetfitness.com.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions Show. Let's go! Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Your home is your most important asset. Flexibility in the sales process is key. When you work with Mark White & Associates, you can cancel at any time, for any reason, without penalty. Speaking of flexibility, check this out. Who you work with matters. Hire the best broker in the game.
Beer.
Hey, when it comes to your pet, don't settle. That's why you want to give your pet the best. Give them Premier Pet Supply, hands down Michigan's best pet store, owned, family owned and operated for over 30 years. 13 Metro Detroit locations, over 60 brands of food at the lowest prices available, and curbside delivery. How about it, man? Premier Pet Supply, give your pet the best. Check them out online at premierpetsupply.com.
Hey, welcome back. Woodward Sports Network. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon and Edwards out today. Tom Mazaway with us as well. We got JB, we got Kool-Aid. Going to talk to John U. Bacon momentarily. What's next for the Wolverines? Obviously, there's this game against a 10-win Iowa team, and I'm not sure that Iowa really scares anybody. This Big Ten championship feels like it is almost like last year. I thought last year's Big Ten championship was a really difficult one to play. Having the emotion of beating Ohio State in Columbus for the first time in 20-some years, to have to turn around the following week and play an inferior Purdue team, and that's what they were, inferior. And I think they got off to a slow start. Michigan did get off to a slow start before ultimately pulling away in the second half. This feels like that again. This feels like the only reason that Iowa has won 10 games this year. It's because they haven't played anybody either. Iowa has not had to play Michigan in the regular season. Iowa has not had to play Ohio State this season.
You barely got by Nebraska.
I need your mic on.
I said they barely got by Nebraska.
Right,
this week.
They did lose to Penn State in the only game they had to play within the conference. But yeah, I mean, close wins, a 3-point win against Nebraska, a 2-point win over Illinois. They lost to Minnesota. They beat Purdue by less than a touchdown. I mean, this Iowa team is about as bad a team, I think, as you will see win 10 games in any particular season.
They're well coached, though.
Well,
Kirk Ferentz gets the most out of what he has.
Well, he's got nothing then offensively, because this team is as challenged offensively as you will see in college football, in big-time college football.
Don't forget, Cade McNamara, Eric All was supposed to be on that starting team, and both knocked out for the year. So let's give them a little bit of a break. I mean, they were putting their eggs in Cade's basket. How great would that have been had Cade got to play against Michigan? I would have gone with you on Saturday, because I would have loved to have seen that.
That would have been a little bit more intriguing than it feels like this game is. But hey, let's go to the phone lines and bring in our good friend John U. Bacon, New York Times best-selling author. Grab one of those many best-selling books for a holiday gift. Of course, Michigan historian on X at John U. Bacon. John, how you doing, my friend?
Hey, John.
Hey there, guys. I'm doing shockingly well, fellas. How about yourself?
Well, you know what, John? It's almost like this euphoric feeling, and this is what sports does to us, right? I mean, I'm lobbing F-bombs in front of my kids and things like that. I mean,
yeah, there's some of that.
You know, it just felt like it had to happen. As you said the last time you were on with us, John, it felt like this one counts for 3, and I think that's why it was so big. How would you characterize it after this one?
Well, I said it before the game, luckily, so I don't sound quite so stupid after the game. I always prefer that. But no, I was saying on your show and all my interviews and on Twitter and all the rest, this game is worth 3. And it will probably be, in hindsight, the biggest game in this long and very rich rivalry. And I'm even including 69, Bo Schembechler, his first game against Ohio State, when they had not lost a game in 2.5 years and about to be national champs again. I would say 06 is right up there, 1 versus 2. Bo passed away the day before. Of course, all the chips in the line and so on. But this one is worth more for a lot of reasons. One, all those stakes are still on the line. It was for the division and, frankly, a pretty easy pass to the college football playoff based on the final game against Iowa. It's the bragging rights and all that. But on top of all that, it's the last time it's going to be a 14-team Big Ten. You add 4 Pac-12 schools. You might get rid of the conference final game. And you get a 12-team playoff next year. So next year, yeah, it matters. but both teams are going to be in, almost certainly, and probably Penn State too. So those are semifinal games now. They're not the be-all and the end-all. And one last thing, because what the hell, Ryan, with all the sign gate stuff and all that, if Michigan lost that game, the narrative in the media and certainly in Columbus was going to be that you can't beat us without cheating. Those two games are tainted, blah, 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 blah. And now with Michigan winning this game without your head coach, without Zinter for the fourth quarter, without obviously Will Johnson, their best player to stop Harrison in the fourth quarter, man, all that stuff's got to go away. And, of course, the signs seem to be no issue this time around. So it's a straight-up win. And now, as a result, amazingly, ridiculously, fairly or not, accurately or not, all three games now look like Michigan's.
And, John, when it comes to that, for all of those reasons that you eloquently stated, all of which are true, how good do you feel for the players? Because this whole thing just took away from that 21 team, from that 22 team. Hell, even these guys that have been through everything over the last 4 or 5 weeks of the season, for the players that wake up early and they go to the weight room and they do these extra things, how good do you feel for them? How much do you think it matters for them?
Well, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to feel good for any players, but if I was, I would.
Yeah.
And look, I mean, whatever happened had nothing to do with the players. I also think whatever happened had very little impact, if any, on the outcomes. Now, if that's the case, then don't do it, of course. That would be the counter argument, and not a bad one. And again, to repeat the obvious, if Michigan broke the rules, they'll have to pay the price. That's all there is to it. And I don't know anybody saying otherwise. But I don't think it is why they did so well these last 3 years. And the players have done all the extra work. And look, Roman Wilson called it out in the press conference afterwards. Ohio State was soft, and they were. And look at that last play. You got Moore, sliding into the gray zone to stick his neck forward and make that play. And you got Harrison, his hands go up, and he wants no part of it. And maybe that's a business decision, but the tougher team did, in fact, win this time around. And also, by the way, as you mentioned, Ryan, correctly, in my opinion, that the 21 and 22 teams, they took some solace in this as well, because it helps validate what they did as well. They're just the better team.
You talk about toughness, John. Is that how and why this rivalry has flipped? Michigan's just tougher?
If you had to boil it down, I would have to say yes. And if you look at the last two games, 21 and 22, man, what I was not expecting in either of those games was Michigan just pushing Ohio State around in both of them. Now, granted, that is the more winning best offensive line in the country, but so the D-line was great, and that surprised me. This time it was probably even on the lines, I don't think. It's not the same level. But, I mean, look at the toughness of the head coach. Michigan does not win if Sharon Moore does not go for count them three, 4th and 1s. And they got all three, and they led to 2 touchdowns. And you don't get the 2 touchdowns without it, obviously. And Ryan Day, 0 for 0. He never went for one, even when probably 2 or 3 times he probably should have if he had faith in his players. Sorry, that's a kind of toughness as well. And you wonder if, Don Brown, for example, was a great defensive coordinator at Michigan. He gets ripped now unfairly, I think, except for one game a year. And that was the Ohio State game. His setup did not work. And you kind of wonder if Ryan Day is the head coach in that same category, basically, where, 11 games, you're very hard to beat, except for one. And in Columbus, that'll get you fired. So we'll see what happens.
Hey, John, great seeing you on Saturday, first of all. And I wanted to ask you about Jim Harbaugh going forward. Now that he got this win, it kind of validates his coaching tenure here at Michigan. I've said it from day one. The day when they lost to Michigan State on trouble with the snap, I believe Jim Harbaugh, that was his lowest day as a head coach. And he got it back and took this team to its highest. This team has never been better. This is better than even the 97 team. This is a run that they're going on. It's a historic run here at Michigan. What is your take on Jim Harbaugh going forward, John?
Well, I think actually you're right. And if you get on Sam Webb's site, the Michigan Insider, he quotes a 97 player, not by name, but as saying that this team is better than 97. It's the best Michigan team has ever seen.
Yep.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but, man, if that's the debate, you're in a certain category, aren't you?
Yep.
And it also shows you just how long it takes to build something that truly is that strong top to bottom. He was almost there, it seemed, in 2016, but the foundation was not the same. And that was proven in 18, 19, and so on. In 20, certainly, at 2-4. But 3 years of this to get everything in place. He's got his coaching staff in place. People forget this also. Man, Connor Stallions, whatever he did, I mean, we'll find out as the evidence unfolds. But what Harbaugh did in the offseason that year was swap out 6 of 10 assistant coaches. If that is not a big boy bet, I don't know what is. I mean, that is do or die. Now, it usually takes 2 or 3 years at least for that to work if you're lucky. But it had to work that season based on the contract. And it did, of course. They won the Big Ten and beat Ohio State. So that's a big boy move right there. Going forward is your question. Excuse me. Man, I've got no idea.
Yeah.
Certainly there is. The Raiders are available, it looks like. Las Vegas now. Chicago Bears. Others have seem to be poking forward. We'll see. Perhaps the LA Chargers. But, of course, there's still no contract yet. I was told in October it hasn't been done by the end of the month, and here we are. And I think we know what's holding it up, of course, is this investigation. And perhaps, why offer a contract unless you know Jim's going to take it? I don't know where things stand right now. My guess is nobody does. I think it's all up in the air. If Harbaugh left, my strong hunch is Sharon Moore would be the guy, and you certainly see why that would be the case. But would it be the same? Nobody knows. And Sharon Moore has not been a head coach. He has been for 4 games, and he's undefeated in very big contests. That is not easy. And he's got the respect and the affection of everyone I know in that building, including Harbaugh. But whenever you make a change like that, there's always a chance. So you don't know.
Talking to John Ubacon, New York Times bestselling author and, of course, Michigan historian. And you mentioned the 97 team, and, Sam Webb quoted one of the players on 97 as saying that they were better. Is that the only way this thing can finish in 23-24 is with a national title for it to be a successful season? I can't believe you say it's national championship or it's failure. But does it feel like it's pretty close to that?
Certainly, Michigan fans are back to their old ways of being really spoiled and a little greedy. And I recall when they were winning the 5 straight Big Ten titles at the end of Bo's career and the start of Gary Miller's career, people complaining about a lack of a national title. It's like, dude, you got 5 straight Big Ten titles. It's got to count for something. And some bowl wins in there as well. I certainly would never buy the idea that it's national title or bust, or else 119 teams have a crappy season. I can't believe that. But I can say with some confidence, this team probably has as good a chance to win a national title as any of them. And I would say, in 2021, they're happy to be there. They're, grossly outmanned by a phenomenal Georgia team. That was boys versus, men versus boys, and that one is what it looked like. Last year they had a great chance, and they blew it against TCU. Play calling and pick sixes and all that in the red zone. Then this year, I don't know if this. Part of me thinks last year's team was better than this year's team. This year's team does not blink an eye. They go to the playoffs. They expect to go to the playoffs. They're not going to be starry-eyed. It won't be that big a deal, I don't think, for them. And the Georgia team we're looking at is not the one we've seen the last 2 years. Who's to say who'll be in the finals? But I think they have as good a chance as any. But, man, if fans are out there putting their whole hopes on a national title or bust, boy, this is a brutal game. Watch yourselves.
Hey, John, is there anything that, that we could see as fans or people who cover the game, reporters, analysts, what have you, what has Jim Harbaugh and Michigan failed to do over the month between the date of the final game and the bowl game or the playoff game or whatever game they played? Because this has been a theme now. Michigan hasn't been able to win the bowl game, hasn't been able to win a playoff game. Is there something that Michigan is not doing or hasn't been able to do over the month of preparation? Do they do something different this year?
Well, great question. I'm not in the building, so I couldn't tell you exactly what they're doing or what they could be doing differently. Again, I think 2021, it wouldn't matter what they did. Now, that team ran out of gas is what it felt like in that game. They probably could have played better than they did. Last year's game had nothing to do with preparation, I think. It was just frankly, 2 pick sixes from J.J. McCarthy and 2 very questionable decisions inside the 5-yard line that should have resulted in touchdowns and instead resulted in turnovers. I mean, hell, I just listed off 28 points. Take 14 of them and you win. So that was in-game decision-making, I think, is how that one broke down. This year, who knows, man? If I were them, though, I don't know if I'd change anything. I think last year's team was ready, and I think this year's team will be ready too. The next question is who they have next, and I can't imagine them losing to Iowa, famous last words. But my guess is they'll get a Pac-12 team in the first round. Somebody good, Washington or Oregon, but we both know those teams don't play defense, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Hey, John, how about J.J. McCarthy? What's your thoughts on him, the game he played? Now he gets Harbaugh back on the sidelines again. What is your take on him going forward? Is he sticking or is he going? And just your opinion on him in general.
I would doubt that he stays, only because he's probably going to be a first-round pick, is my guess, but who knows how it all shakes out based on combines, last couple games and all that business. But, man, over the last 3 games, even though his stats went down, he did one of the best jobs of anybody at that position, I think. Look, he's been banged up on and off the whole season, and they keep that quiet, of course, for obvious reasons.
Yep.
But starting with Bowling Green, but Penn State is clearly banged up. You can see him walking off that way. Maryland too, the right knee got it better for this game. But man, that thread he threw to hit Wilson, Roman Wilson, exactly where he needed to be. That was double coverage. And if you flinch on that one, you're going to lose. Again, back to toughness, in this case, mental toughness.
Yep.
He had it. And he did everything they're supposed to do to win, and no turnovers. 2 versus Maryland. Everyone's panicking, of course, on the Michigan side. And, man, clean as can be, and a game you couldn't afford them. So I think that was one of the gutsier performances. Not one of the best in terms of what they'll be talking about years from now. But look at the stat line. I've got it up right now. 16 for 20. 148 yards passing, 80% obviously passing, a rating of 158.7. Man, that's how you win championships, and he gave his team what they needed.
Hey, John, last one from me. I just wanted to go to the Michigan State side of football right here. What is your take on their hire of John Smith from Oregon State, and how long before they can compete again?
I think it's a great hire, and the kind of hire they should have made 3 years ago before they hired Mel Tucker. The Spartan fans out there, and God bless them, Spartan fans is not fair. Spartan fans have been great to me, including some on Twitter. And then there's, of course, the whole Twitterverse.
Of course.
I said when they hired him for $5 million, this is a panic move by Beekman, an inexperienced AD, because in part because they're after it was a late hire because D'Antonio held him up to get his final contract, his final payment. So it puts you in a bad spot. I said, I said at the time, I have no idea if Mel Tucker is going to succeed or not. Who knows? But I know he's not worth $5 million at 5-7 in his 1 year of coaching. And then, of course, they did the same thing with $95 million. I said the same thing. That do you really know about the next 10 years here? So there you go. In this case, they've got a coach on the rise with a track record. I know it's not a phenomenal record at Oregon State, but that's a hard place to win in a highly competitive conference. Of course, I think he's done a very good job. And he's, 37, I think. He's hungry, and he could be around for a long time. You want excellence, you want stability, and I think Michigan State just got both. How long will it take him, Maz? I would say it's got to be at least 2 or 3 years, and Spartan fans need to be patient. But all you're looking for the first year or two is, man, show me a team that's got some fire, and show me a team that's got some brains and some discipline. Show me that, and then you add talent over time. That's what D'Antonio did, and did it very well.
Hey, John, last thing overall. This feels like chaos for the 4-team playoff. I got Big Ten champ. I got Pac-12 champ, whether that's Washington or Oregon, and then Michigan. So there's 2 spots. And then you have 2 spots open for 3 teams. Let's assume Florida State wins, goes unbeaten. What about Texas winning the Big 12 championship? And then what if you have, Georgia, heaven forbid Alabama beat Georgia, then what the hell do you do?
They will. They will win.
I mean, they might.
Who is your 4?
My 4, look, what the committee wants is what they have right now, which is 4 beautiful 12-0 teams, go 13-0, You got 4 of the 5 power conferences. Everyone's happy, right? Except for Big 12, I guess. They're out of luck. But, hey, they got a loss, so there you go. So that is what it looks like right now. Man, who the hell thinks it's going to be like that next Monday? I don't.
Oh, my God.
Last weekend,
so great.
Always does crazy stuff. And I think you called it, by the way, the Georgia-Alabama game. That 4th and 31, whatever the hell that pass was, in the corner against Auburn. Man, if I'm Georgia, it would have been such a sweet thing to see that get out of the way. I don't think Michigan wants to play Alabama, frankly. I'd rather not.
Nobody
if I was Michigan. Right. I mean, they're playing well at the right time, and watch out for Saban. He's been there before.
Awesome stuff.
I think.
Yeah.
Please, Georgia. Watch that one, and then Washington, Oregon. I would rather bet on Oregon right now than Washington, based on the last month or so of play. Florida State, you had a backup quarterback in there against a decent Louisville team, not a great one. So, man, like you said, who could get in? Oregon, Texas, Alabama, and Ohio State could all sneak in. And I think also if Michigan loses, I think that Michigan's not going to get a bid. It's too big a loss, too late against a bad a so-so Iowa team. Plus the cloud hanging over them. That's going to be an intangible factor, I think. So imagine this. We could have a situation where Alabama leapfrogs Georgia, where Oregon takes over for Washington, Texas sneaks in, or Ohio State sneaks in over Michigan, which I doubt, but who knows. Man, the 5 through 8 could actually be in there the next Monday. Not very likely, but damn it, it's all possible. How often do we see a 7th or 8th seeded team sneak in at the last minute? It happens all the time. So who knows, man? Who knows?
I think Louisville's going to knock off Florida State.
I do too.
I really do.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, Oregon, Ohio State, and Texas would love to see that.
Hell yeah.
No doubt. But, it's crazy because, how do you knock him for a backup quarterback? Freaking Ohio State went on to win with their 3rd-string quarterback, Cardale Jones. Remember that?
I do.
Exactly. And Alabama did the same thing. They had 3rd-string quarterback.
Absolutely.
And by the way, back to Michigan. Michigan is not going to do that with a 3rd-string or a 2nd-string quarterback. I said they're out the whole season, the whole year, ride on JJ's shoulders, and maybe Will Johnson. 2 guys you can't replace. So see about that. But Florida State, those guys not going to look. If they win, backup quarterback or not, they're in.
Yeah.
You're 13-0. You're the ACC champs. You get it. Now they might be the easiest team to beat in the Final Four, based on the quarterback, but they will get in with that. That cannot be used against them.
Love it. Great stuff, John Yu. Thanks so much for spending some time with us. Happy holidays to you and your family, and we'll talk to you soon. Are you going to be in Indy or no Indy?
I have not decided yet. As I have posted, I am in fact writing a book on an unrelated topic, Edmund Fitzgerald. So, and some people out there can't tell the difference between writing an article about the thing and writing a tweet. Tweets are easy, people.
Right.
Articles take a long time. So I have not. You'll be down there, I'm sure, right?
Yeah, I'll be there. I'll be there for sure.
The Edmund Fitzgerald.
If I go,
John, you mean the Big Ten or the Edmund Fitzgerald? Same thing, right?
Yeah, both.
All right.
Thanks, John.
Both simultaneously. But if I go down there, I'll see you. I'll see you at the steakhouse.
You got it. I'll be there Saturday at 1 o'clock for an early dinner.
Oh,
good call.
Hate you guys.
I'll see you. John Yu Bacon,
See you guys.
everybody. Buy one of his
man.
books.
Love you, man.
New York Times best-selling author. You can get it anywhere books are sold. Also, Michigan historian. We got to take a break. I'm way over, but first, a message from Hamlin Pub.
Yes, the Hamlin Pub. Have you ever wanted a bar where you're a regular? Well, we have just the spot for you. Head to one of Hamlin Pub's 7 locations and experience where everyone's a regular. Whether you're enjoying half-off pizza on Thursdays or game day specials available during all Michigan sports and NFL games, Hamlin Pub is the place to be. Visit a location today and experience your new favorite pub with all things sports.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey, how would you like to win a $100K Vegas getaway? Take your friends and live it up in the city that never sleeps. It's the Centron Energy Drink It and Live It sweepstakes. Purchase a 24-pack today and enter for your chance to win. Register at drinkcentron.com/Vegas and buy Centron at your local Meijer store. It's Centron, that healthier energy drink with great taste. Look good, feel great, and be the best version of yourself. Once again, that website, drinkcentron.com/Vegas.
Maz, you know, one of the things that John Yu was talking about in that interview we had was this is the last year Michigan-Ohio State is as we know it. You know, if this was next year, for instance.
You might have a rematch.
No, you would have a rematch.
But you heard John, and I should have followed up. They got to get rid of the championship game now, don't they?
They will, but not next year. You know, they'll play a championship.
That's stupid.
I agree with you, but they will play a championship game next year. Maybe ultimately they'll do away with the championship game. But if this was next year, you would have Michigan and Ohio State play in back-to-back weeks and probably even potentially a third time in the college football playoff. Right. So that's why this year felt so different. And I love it. I absolutely love it. If you give me the opportunity to beat Ohio State 2 straight weeks or 3 times in one season, I'm going to take it. I love to. I'd play them every day.
As Mike Tyson would say, that's so stupid. It is so stupid. That's outrageous. You wait all year to play him on Thanksgiving weekend.
Mm-hmm.
You put your whole team on the line, your whole health on the line for that game, and then you want to play them the next week in Indy?
I don't want to, but I'm saying I would, and I'd be happy. I'd be just fine with it.
Now, why would you play them? If you beat them, isn't USC, Wisconsin, Iowa? Why aren't they having it? Why aren't they having it?
Who's got one loss?
Maybe there's 5 teams with one loss.
Okay, then you go to a tiebreaker.
In other words, it's not going to work. It's impossible for it to work.
It's not impossible. I mean,
what are you going to do? Points against, points for? What are your tiebreakers?
Well,
who you beat? Who
first
you didn't
of all,
play?
if it was this year, wouldn't head-to-head be the first tiebreaker, and Ohio State beat Penn State?
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I guess. I just think it's
okay,
stupid.
Fine, stupid or not, and that's probably why you will eventually do away with the conference championship game. I think conference championship games are stupid. I think they cost your conference more than you gain. For instance, Florida State, if Florida State loses in the ACC championship game, Florida State is out. The ACC is out of the college football playoff.
And if Iowa beats Michigan, the Big Ten's out.
Exactly. So I think a conference championship game actually does more to harm your conference than it does to benefit you. Can't tell you how many times we've seen that in the Big 12, where Oklahoma lost or whoever. I forgot Oklahoma. TCU lost one year in a Big 12 championship game, or TCU beat somebody. I couldn't remember. But, so I think conference championships are all stupid, but you got to play them and move on.
When do the playoffs start next year?
They start December 8th. So conference championships are December 1st, 2nd this year. So the playoffs would start that next week.
Just give the teams a week off before the playoffs.
Well, the top four
eliminate it.
The top 4 teams would get a bye into that second week. So you'd get a bye into the December 15th, 16th window.
So if they eliminate the championship game, you'd have a 2-week bye.
Yeah, exactly.
Basically.
That's exactly right.
Okay. I would still take that because let's face it, who the hell wants to wait to play this game in a month anyway?
Mm-hmm.
After this championship game, you got to wait a month, right? It's the worst. No team is at its best with a month break off of playing their last game.
I've always said that. I think you will play a better game in the championship game than you will in that first playoff game. I've said that every year. Now, you're not.
Look at Ohio State, Georgia last year.
You're not going to tie. You're not going to have a tie. So there is going to be a winner and a loser. But that playoff game is like playing a season opener.
Yeah.
You cannot take a month off or 5 weeks from the time that you played really your last important hyped up game, because you're not going to tell me that Michigan is going to be, it's just human nature. Michigan will not be as up to play Iowa as they were to play Ohio State.
Yep.
It's just human nature.
Look at the last 2 years.
Just get through the game.
Just get through.
That's all you have to do.
It's going to be another Maryland game.
Get through the game, and hopefully you get there clean. Michigan, Oregon, Georgia, and Texas. That's what I'm going with.
I say Alabama beats Georgia.
Okay.
So Georgia will stay in. They'll move them down to like 3. Alabama will get 4. Who gets number 2? I don't know. But Michigan, I don't know. And then Georgia and Alabama. I think they both get in if Bama wins. I do.
Then you have absolute chaos, because if you
can't knock Georgia out if they lose, right? They're still going to be in the top 4.
I think you can knock Georgia out.
They haven't lost a game in 2 years.
I understand, but I think you can knock them out.
I'm looking forward to it.
I don't know how you knock Florida State out.
They're going to lose.
I really don't.
They're going to lose.
Let's just say they win, and Alabama
then they're
wins.
In. Then Florida State's 2. Michigan, Florida State, Georgia, Alabama.
There you go. And Texas is just
They're out. They're out.
Texas is out, even though Texas beat Alabama.
But they lost to Oklahoma.
Right.
In a great game.
What a game.
By the way.
What a world we're living in. Guys, let me get to a break. Lions next.
He thinks Bowling Green somehow is going to get
First,
in
a message from Feldman.
All right, let me get you up to date on Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, 18 locations. There's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience. It's called the Feldman Advantage. Catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Monday. Coming up this Monday, Jeff and the gang will be at Feldman Chevrolet.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Gabby is a college student struggling to study for her big exam. Then, she discovered Syntron, a healthy way for her to stay awake and focus. Jennifer frequently has chaotic days like this until she gets online, orders some Syntron, and finds her groove. April visited her local grocery store, purchased a case of Syntron, and entered to win the Syntron 100K Vegas giveaway. Pick up your case of Syntron today at any Meijer location or visit drinksyntron.com/Vegas and enter for the 100K Vegas giveaway.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, gang, let's talk about Outdoor Equipment Company, the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports, Michigan-grown, family-owned, bad boy mowers, tractors, steel handhelds, even weed whippers, Liberty trailers, Generac generators, SnowX plows, and salters. Outdoor Equipment Company has it all. You could buy it, you could rent it, all for 0% financing, delivered to your doorstep. OutdoorEquipCo.com, OutdoorEquipCo.com. Welcome back. Hour number 2 of the program. Ryan Ermanni, Braylon and Edwards out today. Tom Mazaway in his usual stead. We got JB. We got Kool-Aid in the house. Kool-Aid's going to be with us every day, right, baby? Yeah, hell yeah, Kool-Aid. Hell yeah, Kool-Aid.
Good to have you, my friend. Good to have you.
We got Pete Spivak training in there behind JB. Going to be great stuff here on Woodward Sports Network. Talking a little Lions right now.
Just a little. I'm joking.
That was
they sickened me.
As disappointing a performance as I have seen from this football team in a year's time, in over 12 months. And on that stage, in that game, with everybody excited to watch the Lions, some of whom were sitting there and watching the Lions for the first time, that's what they saw.
My kids. I brought them to their first Thanksgiving Day game, and that's what they had to see.
And I do think you have to look and really take a deep dive into this football team. They lost the Packers game, not a good showing. The Bears game, they came back, probably should have lost that one. The Chargers game was a wild one, back and forth.
Lucky they chargered themselves.
The Raiders game, they turned the ball over several times and somehow managed to escape with a double-digit win in that game. The Ravens embarrassed them. For the last 5 straight weeks, this football team has not been good. They have somehow survived and have gone 3-2 in the last 5 weeks. But Tom Mazaway, if they don't clean it up, and if they don't clean it up in a hurry, they're going to be in some trouble.
All right, first of all, I want to say this. I'm not worried about them.
In terms of the division?
In terms of anything.
Okay.
They're heading in the right direction. And are they going to go 15-2 like we were all hoping they would? That ain't going to happen. They're probably going to lose a couple of more games before the end of the season. All teams go through this. The 49ers lost 3 games in a row. All teams except the Eagles. Eagles, they just know how to win. And yesterday's Buffalo game was amazing. We'll talk about that in a bit. There's the Buffalo Bills. They don't know how to win. They had 500 yards of offense yesterday, and they lost. Going to the Lions, they were out-coached on Thursday. Out-coached from the get-go. Packers won the toss and said, give us the ball. And what do? They throw a 60-yard pass, first play of the game. And if he let them, it was a touchdown. They wound up scoring 2 plays later. 3-play drive, touchdown for the Packers. Okay, Lions are going to come back. They did. When they missed the extra point, I said in my own head, I'm like, this ain't our day. I just had a feeling that it wasn't our day. First miss of the year, by the way, by Riley Patterson. He's a good extra point kicker from 40 yards in. Can't kick field goals past that, though. Besides that, they just didn't have it, man. The run game never materialized. Again, they were down Jonah Jackson. Jonah Jackson.
Who's going to be out for a while, by the way.
I'm telling you, man. That's a big cog. All of a sudden, you see Jared Goff was kind of running for his life. The offensive line was dominated by Green Bay, by their interior defense, which the Lions have no interior defense. Jordan Love, at one point, was just standing there, waiting, and then he moved a little bit, stood there. No one can get to the guy. nobody is rushing the passer except Aiden Hutchinson. And you take him out, you got no chance. Aleem McNeil went down with a concussion early in the game. There goes that. They just blew it. If you want to go for this year's Super Bowl, they blew it at the deadline. They blew it maybe in the draft, not getting that defensive lineman that they really wanted. Did you see Jalen Davis yesterday play against the Bills?
Yeah.
Jordan Davis? Holy crap. The guy's all over the freaking field. Offensive linemen are picking him up. They already have respect for this guy. And I don't even want to go to where, Braylon says we should have taken him. We probably should have. But we didn't. The linebackers, they were running around like chickens without a head. Anzalone had a pretty good game.
Anzalone's going to be out for a while.
Now he's going to be out. It's not looking good. And you go to New Orleans, they stink. But they're still home. You get Taysom Hill. He'll come in for a few plays. Jameis Winston's going to chuck up a 60-yard pass. You might intercept a couple, but he might complete a couple as well. I don't like where they're at right now. I do believe they win the division still and get a playoff team, but they ain't going to get a home. They're not going to get the bye that we wanted. That's Phillies. So now you're fighting for the number 2 spot.
And now you got to really root for root for Philadelphia next week against San Francisco.
Just
because
hope they keep winning.
Absolutely. I don't feel as good about the Lions as I once did, Maz. And
have they peaked? Have we seen them peak?
And maybe the roster as it's currently constructed has. But you can't turn the ball. So I am not freaking out about Aaron Glenn's defense or anything like that. Sorry, guys, I got to get my foot got stuck in the footrest. but I am not freaking out about Aaron Glenn's defense as much as the next guy is on this team.
Well, you should.
You turned the ball over 7 times in the last 2 weeks, and show me a defense that can overcome that.
Right.
It starts with Jared Goff and the offense. Everything with the Detroit Lions starts with Jared Goff and the offense. And when you give the other team 7 extra possessions in 2 weeks, you're not going to win those games. Somehow, some way, they found a way to beat the Bears last week.
Yeah. Thank God Eberflus was coaching.
Eberflus gave that game to Detroit last week by going run up the middle, bomb,
stop
incomplete,
the clock.
Stop the clock. They punt, you get the ball back, you drive down and win. But I'm telling you, for as bad as you think Aaron Glenn and the defense are, it has been the offense that has concerned me more than anything.
Great take. Because now I'm back on board, guys. All right, you got me back. Jared Goff, I'll say, he's not the answer long term. He's not. He's not. Because if you ruffle his feathers, there he goes fumbling the ball again. 3 fumbles. He didn't fumble all freaking year. So someone found out something, and now they're attacking him. And if he don't have a clean pocket, he don't win. It's very simple. He doesn't win without a clean pocket. And who did I compare him to this week? There was a quarterback that just got signed. Who was it? It'll come back to me. But Daniel Jones won a playoff game. The Giants put all their eggs in the basket with him. They obviously crapped out. There's a couple other teams that did the same thing. Geno Smith. Geno Smith has peaked. They paid him. He's done now. He's gone. Seattle will have a new quarterback next year. So be careful. Before everyone wanted to pay Jared Goff. Be careful. I wouldn't pay him yet. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, and again,
you better hope Hendon Hooker has got something.
It goes back to the turnovers for me. It's the simplest stat in football. If you lose the turnover battle, chances are you're going to lose the game. And to not only turn the ball over once or twice, but to go 7 in the last 2 games, I'm sorry. You can talk about Aaron Glenn all you want. There's no defense in the National Football League that could overcome 7 turnovers by the offense. It's just not realistic. And somehow, some way, the Lions did survive last week because of the boneheaded
And they're lucky they
decisions
did.
by
They're going to need that win.
Eberflus on
Thank
the
God
other
they
side.
got that win.
No doubt about it. More Lions next. We'll recap the week in the NFL. We'll take a look at last night's game. My goodness, Buffalo and Philadelphia. Lots to get to on a Monday here in the Motor City. But first, a message from Swiss.
Yes, Swiss Insurance. Do you have football on the brain like us? Well, of course you do. Fall ushers in college and professional football, and this year has already been awesome. Fall is also a perfect time to shop your home and auto insurance. Shop it like a pro with the pros at Swiss Insurance. They cover us here at WSN, and they should be covering you as well. Ask for Mark at Swiss Insurance today or at SwissINS.com, or as always, you can always give him a call at 248-800-4177. That is Swiss Insurance.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Savor the heart of home at Big Boy with our all-new down-home comfort dishes. Feast on home-style goodness with our Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl, veal parmigiana, and apple pie hotcakes. The down-home delight doesn't stop there. Potato pancakes are back. Dive into the richness of our perfectly crafted potatoes with our classic potato pancakes and our stuffed potato pancakes. Top off your meal with our new gingerbread shake, a seamless blend of creamy vanilla and sweet gingerbread flavors. Nothing beats the comforting taste of down-home cooking. Enjoy every bite, only at Big Boy.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
Hey gang, join Woodward Sports and Long Drink for the Bullseye. You know it, the Bullseye home game. Every home game for the official Lions VIP tailgate party. It's at Eastern Market in Shed 5. It's always a bash, starting at 9:30 in the morning until game time. The official Lions tailgate is back better than ever. The next 2 games, don't forget, are on the road. But when we come home for the Broncos, you get ready for this. Get your tickets online today at bullseyeeventgroup.com or win some for Woodward Sports today. Just subscribe to our YouTube, follow us on Instagram, and direct message Lions VIP.
According to ESPN, Michigan State redshirt freshman quarterback Caton Hauser has entered the transfer portal. He has 3 years of eligibility remaining. So Michigan State going to be looking for another quarterback this
John
year.
Smith is bringing his own people.
No doubt. And good for them.
Another John Smith.
Yeah, I know. I was having some fun with that this weekend. Either way.
Middle initial isn't L by chance,
No,
is it?
I know. I don't believe it is.
That's good.
We hope not.
For their sake.
Yeah, for them.
I read all the coaches that got hired today in the last weekend. Michigan State got the A. Got the only A. There were a couple of B's. There were a couple of C. There was a C, a couple of B's. But Michigan State this is a highly sought after. Well, they think this is a winning pick for them. So
Good.
I wish them good luck.
No, absolutely.
Did you see him coming off the plane yesterday?
Yeah.
Yeah, we got that video if we want to play that. Him coming off the plane yesterday in East Lansing. Check it out.
Goofy.
I know. I know.
So goofy.
You got Sparty shaking his hand. And it's
oh man,
it's something.
God bless him. Okay, God bless him.
Let me ask you this: If Jim Harbaugh does leave, do you think it's Sharon Moore's gig?
Gotta be.
You be happy with that?
Yep.
All right.
Gotta be. Now I'd be
because there'll be other coaches vying for that job.
I would be
national coaches.
I think Sharon Moore has earned the right to have a shot.
Yeah, he can interview.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But
ain't gonna get it though.
I just don't think. I don't think Harbaugh's leaving.
Okay.
2, If he left, I do believe Sharon Moore as a bridge here.
You want a bridge or you want to keep winning?
Well, I don't know. I haven't even entertained the thought. I think it's Harbaugh.
Okay.
And that's it.
I hope you're right.
Absolutely. Let me get back to the Lions for a second. Just looking at their schedule, because, again, what once was thought of as a number one seed, fighting for a number one seed here, has looked a lot tougher, Maz. You go at New Orleans, at Chicago, which doesn't feel like two gimme wins anymore because there is no gimme anymore
on the road,
based on how the Lions are playing, though. Based on how they're playing. And then you come home. Have you seen what Denver has done over the last 5 weeks? Denver is above 500 now. They have won 5 games in a row and are 6-5 on the year.
Sean Payton.
And then you go at Minnesota, at Dallas, and then home against Minnesota again. This thing is getting a little bit tight. If Minnesota wins tonight,
they will.
They're a game and a half back. You know, we have 8 wins here in Detroit. They'll have 7 wins.
Yeah.
And then with 2 to play.
The division will come down to those games. They will.
Man.
It's playing against them, you better beat New Orleans.
You
better beat New Orleans.
How many, at this point, Maz, what's the number?
I'll say at worst it's 12-5.
At worst,
yes.
12-5.
Yes.
So you're saying 4-2 over the last 6.
Yes. Maybe 5-1.
Okay.
I do believe they bounce back.
So you're totally...
I'm okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm not going to panic, I told you. I just didn't like what I saw. And the way you described the last 4 weeks, the last 5 weeks, I really don't like it either. 3-2 in the last 5 weeks. Old Lion fans would be saying, oh, yeah, we'll take that. This new Lion fan group, nah, we don't want that. They got to get back to the basics, man. Can't turn the ball over. You hit the nail on the head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm almost entertaining the idea of 11 now. 3-3 in their final 6
games. What was the
games.
over-under that Vegas gave?
9.5.
Okay.
But still well over. 11 would be, I would consider well over 9.5, even though it's, 2, right? 2 more if you hit the over. But again, I'm entertaining the idea of 3-3 in the final 6 games, which, you talk about splitting with the Vikings somewhere, possible. Losing to the Cowboys in Dallas, possible. Mm-hmm. That Broncos game is a fight. That is a dog fight.
Lions are home, though.
Lions are home. And
probably be on a Saturday afternoon from what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
That's a Saturday, probably 4 o'clock game, nationally televised.
And then you've got, New Orleans, Chicago. Not feeling as good as I once did. I still believe they win the division. I still believe they win a playoff game unless you start getting into this. No, it would be Dallas would be the 4 seed. Okay. Dallas would be a 4 seed. Or excuse me, Dallas would be a 5 seed.
Right. They're not going to win the division.
Right. The 5 would play the 4. So they would play the winner of
Atlanta.
Atlanta
right. Would host Dallas right now if it ended today. And Atlanta is an under 500 division winner.
Now, the Lions, they would host the Minnesota Vikings.
Correct.
And I have always said, I think that is the last team you want to see in the first round of the playoffs. It is what we just talked about with Michigan, Ohio State.
Absolutely.
You would play Minnesota 3 times in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Way too much.
3 times in 4 weeks you would play Minnesota.
If you go back to 93. When they dominated Green Bay in the last game of the season.
That was back-to-back weeks.
And 93. Yeah. They dominated the last game in regular season, and then they faced them in the first game of the wild card the following week, and that's when Brett Favre hit Sterling Sharp wide open in the right corner of the end zone.
Right, but throw another game on top of that, too.
Yes.
Right? They would not only play back-to-back weeks, they would also play 2 weeks prior to that.
Right. Bad schedule by the NFL, by the way.
Absolutely. And here come the Rams, too. I think that would be, here come the Rams.
Crow, that was, I got to give you credit for that one.
I got to tell you, okay, now, you can give me crap for a lot of stuff.
We do.
But I told you about Pittsburgh, told you about Cleveland. Don't sleep on Denver. Those 3 teams could all make the playoffs.
Yes.
All of them.
It's really turning. And why is it turn? It turns on injuries to begin with.
And then what did I say about the NFC? The LA Rams were my wild card
You also
sleeper.
said Washington.
Okay. So 4 out of 5 when you're talking about teams like that?
They're good, man. I'm happy for
Screw you.
Thank you.
Screw you.
You went 4-3 this week.
Oh, good. We'll go around the NFL. We'll do that next. But first, a message from Guardian Alarm. God, I was going to say something to you, Matt, but then I thought better of it. Guardian Alarm is your local security experts and have been.
Can't wait to hear it.
Over 90 years. When you see this black and yellow sign out in front of your house, it tells the bad guys one thing.
Stay out.
Whether you are at home or on the road, they're 24/7 professional monitoring, customized solutions from real experts, and technology backed by people means you are backed by the best. Call this number right here, 1-800.
Stay out.
That number again, 1-800.
Stay out.
Call them today. Tell them Woodward Sports sent you.
Stay out.
Now, coming to Woodward Sports, Woodward and Main Street, the Woodward Sports Network Detroit Lions show. Catch Gabrielle D. Phillips, Matt Broder, and Terry Foster for all the latest news on your Detroit Lions every week. Only on the Woodward Sports Network YouTube channel and woodwardsports.com.
Calling all landscapers. This is Darren McCarty. I'm at Outdoor Equipment Co. How would you like to landscape like a legend? How about a bad boy zero turn? And even a chainsaw. And even a weed whipper. Whether you landscape for your job or landscape for fun, get all your equipment from Outdoor Equipment Co., the official equipment provider of Woodward Sports. Michigan grown, family owned. OutdoorEquipCo.com.
Join Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey, gang, let me tell you about Les Stanford Buick GMC. That's right. What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. That's exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC, located in Ferndale on Woodward Avenue, just south of 9 Mile. And, of course, if you're looking for a Chevy or a Cadillac, check out Les Stanford in Dearborn on Michigan Avenue, where they have been for over 55 years. You could find the brand you want, all GM brands under one umbrella. LesStanford.com, LesStanford.com.
Find new roads.
Find them.
Woo!
All right, Tom Mazaway, we'll take a look at the week that was with our picks.
Yes, sir.
Finally had a winning week after, what, a month?
Yeah.
I went 4-3. Braylon won the week. He was 5-2. He improves to 41-39. I moved to 37-43, so just maybe 2 weeks below the Mendoza line before I get back. And Maz, you are running away with this thing, 48-32 after a 4-3 week.
And last night, that last run by Zay Flowers cost me that game.
Yeah.
I would have covered that spread, that Baltimore game. That Chargers, I figured for once they might win a close game. My bad.
That Chargers team, and again, why would you think that? That Chargers team is
not. You know what? They jam it down our throat. How many times have we seen them?
I know. That Chargers team is not well coached. That Chargers team has a quarterback that is one of the most overrated players in the NFL. I think that Justin Herbert is maybe on a list of 5 players that might be the most overrated players in the NFL in the last decade. He's on that list.
I'll be damned.
You will never find Justin Herbert making a big play or winning a big game. He's a stats guy.
I haven't seen
He's got a rocket for an arm, but
What is he, Jay Buhner?
Year in, year out, I hear about Justin Herbert. Year in, year out, I hear about the Chargers, and he's a below 500 player.
He is.
It's just the way it is. And at home last night playing Baltimore, he looked terrible. Yeah. Now, a lot of people look terrible against Baltimore, but you're just waiting for this guy to make a couple of plays to win for you. If he is he's not supposed to be Jared Goff. Justin Herbert is a $50 million a year guy.
Yeah.
Justin Herbert is a guy that is supposed to excel in a moment like that. Justin Herbert is a guy that's supposed to pick apart a Baltimore defense like that, because that's why you pay him $55 million.
Who have we compared him to?
Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, he really.
I said that a month ago.
That's dead on.
I said that a month ago.
That's dead on.
And I think I've heard that now in a couple of different places, by the way. But I can't tell you, I'm done with the Justin Herbert stuff. He is an above-average quarterback that is going to play just well enough for you to lose.
Yeah. Well, we'll find out what they do moving on. They are going to move on from Brandon Staley. I'm surprised they haven't this season because Frank Reich got canned today.
Which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
Frank Reich has gone 1-10 with the Carolina Panthers. Let me say something to you. They lost yesterday to the Titans 17-10. They're 1-10. Bryce Young got a training wheels on, and we know what's happening in Houston with C.J. Stroud. Let's face it. C.J. Stroud is the it guy. Bryce Young, it exacerbated what happened with David Tepper, the owner of the Panthers, who's fired 3 coaches now in his tenure after he bought this team.
Do you think that's why he got fired today? Is because of Stroud?
I do, but you know what? He wanted Stroud. You remember we did a story on it?
Yeah.
You remember we had the video of Frank Reich talking to C.J. Stroud, saying, "Yeah, we're going to put a basketball court up for you in Carolina. We're going to do this for you. We're going to do that." And then they picked Bryce Young, and they traded away their future, including DJ Moore. 3 number 1s, and number 2, they gave the house away to Chicago. The house to draft a quarterback, and C.J. Stroud got Frank Reich fired. I'm not talking bad about Bryce Young, but C.J. Stroud's success got Frank Reich fired today.
I think that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in professional football. You have got to believe in your process. If you don't believe in your process, man, then who is going to want to I know there's only 32 jobs in the National Football League. I am the biggest proponent of that. You're going to take that. But why would you want to go coach for this guy in Dave Tepper?
He got rid of Josh McCown, the OC, and
Deuce Staley.
And Deuce Staley as well.
Can you imagine, Maz, Sheila firing, because Dan Campbell was
under pressure,
1-10 as well at one point, wasn't he?
Yes.
Or 1-9-1 or 1-10-1 or something like that.
She went to his defense.
You can't do that, man. You have wasted, and you've made a mockery of your franchise
and
when you do that.
A year.
You take the number 1 pick in the draft is a quarterback, and you fire the coach less than 1 full season into that.
11 games.
That's an embarrassment.
It is.
That is an embarrassment. And I don't know why anybody worth their salt would want to coach in Carolina under this owner. This owner is an embarrassment.
I saw something today that I kind of got a chuckle out of it. It could happen. Next year, Ben Johnson leaves, right? How about this for a staff? Dan Campbell, Frank Reich as your OC, and your new DC will be, was it Ron Rivera? Who was it?
Robert Saleh?
Robert Saleh. That was it. That was it. Because Robert Saleh probably going to get canned. Frank Reich already canned.
Yeah.
AG, you don't know what Aaron Glenn's going to do. You don't know. How about that for a staff?
It would be a pretty good one. I think the Lions, I like this staff better. And again, I'm an Aaron Glenn guy. I don't think that a lot of these problems that Aaron Glenn has is Aaron Glenn induced.
He might get a head coaching job.
I mean, he might, but then again, he might not. It's just back to Aaron Glenn for a second. Tell me the impact player that they have on defense.
Alex Anzalone's having his best year as a pro until he just got hurt.
Alex Anzalone starting for the Eagles?
No.
Alex Anzalone starting for the 49ers?
No.
Alex Anzalone starting for the Kansas City Chiefs?
Probably not. They have an all-young defense.
I mean...
Well, all right, Aiden Hutchinson.
Aiden Hutchinson is one player. Did you see Baldinger's breakdown of Aiden Hutchinson?
I missed it.
Maz, this was one of the most incredible thing I have ever seen as a football fan. Baldinger shows the game plan against Aiden Hutchinson. We're going to have to go back and get you this video tomorrow.
I'll definitely find it.
Or we can even find it today. Baldinger shows how the Packers blocked Aiden Hutchinson for this game. And each week, Braylon Edwards and I, we do a segment for the Fox 2 Lions Game Day Live pregame show. And one of the things that we talked about was when you are playing against the Detroit Lions, you have one guy you have to game plan against, and it's 97.
Correct.
It's Aiden Hutchinson. Aiden Hutchinson. Everybody thinks that Aiden Hutchinson isn't getting to the quarterback. Aiden Hutchinson sucks. Oh, he's got to play better. Watch this Brian Baldinger operation, and I'll try to find it for you during the break. Baldinger shows how 3 different Green Bay Packers offensive players blocked Aiden Hutchinson on one play. The first guy hits him, releases to the second guy. The second guy hits him, releases to the running back. 3 different players were responsible for blocking 97. And boy, it's it's nothing that the casual observer of football would even remotely close to understand until you see Baldinger break it down. That's one of the great uses of social media. It allows you to see things perhaps in a different way. Look, I played football, a little bit of football in my life, nothing major, high school player, but not college. I would never in a million years have looked at Aiden Hutchinson and saw that without Baldinger pointing it out to me.
I found it and sent it.
Maybe Braylon could. You know what I mean? Maybe Braylon would be able to watch that and say, oh, yeah, this is what's happening. But he's a professional athlete. I'm not a professional athlete. I have never been in those meeting rooms. I have never been, in the film room on the Monday after the Sunday game.
Right.
But when you see this, we're going to get it for you next. We'll get it up for you next. It is incredible what a focus Green Bay had on 97.
I told you they were out-coached, man.
And again, it just goes back to Aaron Glenn. What player on the Lions defense do you have to game plan against besides 97? So forgive me if I'm stepping in here and stepping up and having the back of Aaron Glenn for a second. Go turn the ball over 7 times in 2 weeks and have one impactful defensive player. Like, legitimately game-wrecking player. And not just a complimentary piece. And then show me what Robert Saleh or any of these other defensive genies can give me. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll have that video for you. But first, a message from Big Boy.
All right, guys, it's time. Wintertime is creeping up on us. And wintertime in Detroit is always better with comfort foods from Big Boy. Try the veal parmesan, the new Southern Comfort Chicken Bowl. How about the breakfast to start your day? The stuffed potato pancakes are back, and so is the classic lumberjack and Santa Fe omelet. The new apple pie hotcakes are to die for. Got to get that too, and get a shake to boot. Never mind a vanilla chocolate strawberry shake. How about the brand new gingerbread shake? All that and more at your local Big Boy.
Where's the most convenient place to get that big fitness energy? It's Planet Fitness. Join today for just $1 down, $10 a month. With over 2,400 locations and equipment for every workout, you can get in, get energized, and get going. And with free fitness training and most clubs open 24 hours, everyone belongs in the judgment-free zone. So join today for $1 down, $10 a month, no commitment, cancel anytime. Deal ends Wednesday, September 13th.
Join now at any Metro Detroit location. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Woodward Sports' own Tom Mazaway and Sam Stick Day will be hosting our Lions postgame show after every Lions game all season long. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel for his hot-off-the-press takes, game analysis, and Kool-Aid sipping celebrations. You won't want to miss it. Join Maz, Stick, and special guests each week immediately following every Lions game, exclusively on the WSN YouTube channel.
At work and at home. We're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Hey gang, are you tired of wearing the same old Detroit sports merch? It's a new era in sports wearables, new designs, amazing apparel, and the ultimate swag. Check out Woodward Sports' latest gear at woodwardsports.com. Click on the shop tab. Hoodies, tees, hats, all guaranteed to turn heads and all guaranteed if you order today to get here by the holidays. Get the latest designs today at woodwardsports.com. Click on the shop tab.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so we have this video for you. I just want to play this for you guys. You can make up your own minds. I see a lot of people in the chat say, oh, Max Crosby gets through them and elite pass rushers get through them. Yeah, Max Crosby's been in the league for 4 or 5 years.
Right.
You know, this guy hasn't even finished his second season. I anticipate he will get better each and every year that he plays.
He will.
Max Crosby wasn't Max Crosby before, what, last year? So give the guy a break a little bit here.
Amen, man.
Here's this video, Baldinger.
Let's watch the meticulous game planning by the Packers on a short week. Jordan Love weighs the rookie Tucker Kraft in motion. That's the Lions' best player, 97, Aiden Hutchinson. Kraft is going to hit Hutch first. Then they pull the center, Josh Myers, out. And after he gets done with them, then Myers hits him. And then after A.J. Dillon takes the play-action fake, he goes and he hits Hutch. They were not going to let Hutch destroy or ruin this offense today so that Jordan Love can make this sidearm throw to Malik Heath, his second catch of the season. That's great game planning by the Packers.
That's incredible.
Yep.
You're the tight end hit him. You pulled the center, and you had the center hit him, and then he released to the running back, and the running back hit him.
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
You ain't going to get to the quarterback.
You got to get a little bit of help on the other side.
God, man.
Can you get a little bit of help on the other side?
Can you, please?
Josh Paschal, hello. Where's my guy Bugs been?
He was deactivated.
I cannot for the life of it understand where Bugs has been. What about John Kaminsky? I love John Kaminsky.
He's not having a great year.
He's not had the year that he had a year ago.
And you know he's trying.
Absolutely. He's trying. So it's a little disappointing what the Lions' defensive line has been doing. Aleem McNeil has played really good, but you got to have something else, man. You got to have somebody else.
Let me just ask you.
Uh-oh, when he wipes his face like that, it's a big deal.
Man, it's what everyone knows and everyone says. If you pick Jordan Davis, where are you right now?
I don't know, because you lost David Montgomery for a lot of weeks, and who knows if you'd have Sam Laporta? Who knows if you'd have Jahmyr Gibbs?
You would have. You had extra picks. They were going to take Jahmyr Gibbs. He wasn't going to get taken.
I just don't know how it would have shaken out.
You might not have had Jack Campbell.
Yeah.
And I'm okay with that right now as it sits. I'm okay with that as it sits. I'm just saying, the Philadelphia Eagles, they mean business. They're the first team to have a 9-1 start, 10-1 start in back-to-back years. And I don't know how long it's been. It's been a long time.
I think it's the first time in, a long time.
And you understand that if there's a free agent, they are on the list. Shaq Leonard, who was released by the Colts.
Did you see he was at the game yesterday in the Swift?
Yes.
What was that?
Are they
the weirdest organization you've ever?
Well, look, they got Jim Irsay as the owner.
Oh man,
he's out there. So Shaq Leonard released by the Colts. He's a free agent. He's going to visit the Cowboys. But guess what? The Eagles are probably going to try to play keep away. You think the Eagles want the Cowboys to have Shaq Leonard? And they're desperate for linebacking help right now in Dallas because they got a lot of injuries as well. But this is your typical old days Red Sox Yankees. The Yankees would pick a player just to keep him away from the Red Sox. Even if they didn't need him, they didn't give a damn. They'll pay him the money and keep him away from the hated rival. And the Eagles, they are in every single free agent's ass. If they're available, the Eagles are going to be right there, 1-2.
Like, honestly,
do they really need Shaq Leonard?
Can I ask this question? If Anzalone's going to be out for an extended period of time, and
you better go get that guy.
Why isn't Shaq Leonard here right now?
You better go get him. I don't care if he's half the player he used to be.
He's 28 years old.
I'm just throwing everything bad out. I don't care.
That's the part that's frustrating with this Lions season now, because they are in a win it now year. I mean, there is no guarantee you'll be back here next year. Maybe I don't even want to even say it.
Leonard isn't him anymore. I get that.
What
Who
does that
gives a
even
damn?
mean? Who's
He's
him?
better than what we got.
What is this him? Is he better than the guy you got or not?
Is he better than Pascal?
God.
Come on, man.
Why
is he better than Derek Barnes?
Why isn't he here right now?
Just sign the body.
But forget about the body. This is the type of player that you need right now.
He was a captain. He's a captain. How bad is he? Why aren't we involved? Why do I have to hit Cowboys, Eagles? Why can't we win this year? If we can't win this year, don't even play the rest of the damn season. Why do you have to stick to, we're going to draft? We need our 3rd and 4th round picks. Give me a break, man. Chase Young should be here. This guy should be here. Yeah, I know. Lion fans do this all the time. Why not? We're starved. How about feeding us? I don't want to wait anymore. What are you pissing this year away for? You're pissing it away. Sign Shaq Leonard. I don't give a damn if he plays on one leg, because he's better than what we have. Sorry.
I love you, bro.
I love you too. And I love all you guys in the chat. I don't give a damn. It's just an opinion. All right? I've been watching football a long time.
How long?
You need you need players. I'm sorry.
Oh, come on.
I'm sorry. You
Come
need
on,
players
please.
to win.
We apologize.
I apologize.
For that language.
You need
we don't
players
condone that
to
here
win
on this network.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, please.
I can't help. I got a potty
Come
mouth.
on.
I can't help it.
We do not use that kind of language here.
I didn't mean it.
All right. Very good. Why don't you calm down?
I've been watching football for 53 years, since I was 8 years old.
And what do you need?
You need players.
All right. How many of them? Few.
11 good ones.
Guys, let me tell you about Fairway Packing Company. For over 60 years, Fairway Packing Company has provided Michigan's finest restaurants, hotels, casinos with prime beef, Wagyu beef, and dry-aged beef. Yeah, even this guy, he's going to get some beef tonight. Experience the Fairway difference for yourself today. You could visit the steak shop in Grosse Pointe Woods for grab-and-go steaks. I'm actually headed there after the show today for some grab-and-go steaks. If you can't make it there in person, you can order online. Fairwaypacking.com. Fairwaypacking.com. Sourced, cut, aged, packed to perfection.
It's good.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience from one of our talented stylists and register for a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to win an all-expenses-paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament for you and 5 of your best buds. That's right, college basketball's most elite event. You and your 5 best friends just get to any Lady Jane's today for an award-winning haircut experience and automatically register to win the trip of your dreams. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
Brace yourselves, Detroit. As the sun begins to set, 2 of Woodward Sports' brightest young stars will be taking the mic for a brand new show. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. The dog days in Detroit are over, and the boys are unleashed. Join in on the banter and hop on the bandwagon of the #1 night show on the internet. Tune into the Woodward Sports YouTube channel every weeknight from 8 to 10 p.m. Woodward Nights with Spooner and Broder. Woodward Sports' own Jeff Iafrate, along with special WSN guests for the most anticipated Lions season in decades. Filled with different surprises and expert analysis. You're not going to want to miss out. Go to our Woodward Sports YouTube channel on Sundays and tune in live from 9:30 to 11:30 a.m.
Hey gang, come into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for an award-winning haircut experience and register to win a trip of your dreams, an all-expenses paid suite for the 2024 NCAA tournament. That's right, no expense spared for you and 5 of your best buds. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. You can walk in 7 days a week. You can walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
Wicked.
How about that?
Hey, Monday Night Football tonight.
Yeah, I was going to talk to you about that.
Let's
Tom
go.
Mazaway. Feels like a little bit of a bigger game than normal.
I'm excited for this game.
I am too. It is the Packers and, excuse me, not the Packers, the other two teams in the division. Not the Lions.
The purple game.
The Bears and the Vikings.
Yeah.
My goodness. Bears and Vikings feels like a big game. I'll be rooting for the Bears.
You know what? It's a 3-point spread. That's kind of low for a home team in Minnesota who plays nothing but one-score games. I expect another one-score game tonight. And who knows? If Justin Fields played like he played against the Lions, they could pull the upset. I do think the Vikings will win. I think they're a better team than the Bears. I think they'll hold serve. But I thought the Eagles were going to lose yesterday. The Bills were my best bet of the year. And they completely
did cover, didn't it?
Yeah, they covered.
Yeah.
But they completely
Blew
crapped
it. Yeah.
themselves, including Tyler Bass, who missed 2 makeable field goals. And then the coach, Sean McDermott, calling a timeout in the last 30 seconds. That settled them down on the other side of Philadelphia, and they kicked that 59-yard field goal, which I knew Josh Elliott would hit. He's the best kicker in football, and that includes what's his name in Baltimore?
Justin Tucker.
The
one thing about that game that you know, as soon as Josh Allen missed Gabe Davis in the end zone,
that's it.
You just knew it was over.
It's over.
You can't. That cannot happen.
Great call, poorly executed.
Now, whose fault is that?
That's the receiver's fault.
Gabe Davis.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, because Josh Allen played his ass off again yesterday. They went over 500 yards of offense, and they lost.
That's one of the things about that. That is one of the things about the Eagles that, you know, you're like, man, they're ripe for the taking, aren't they?
They know how to win.
Aren't they ripe for the taking?
They are. Huh? They are, but they're down 10 points back-to-back weeks in the fourth quarter, and they win.
How?
They're well coached.
That quarterback is unflappable, man.
You see
he
him
is
sitting on
unflappable.
See Jalen Hurts sitting on the sidelines with the jacket on. He doesn't change his facial expression. When Buffalo's going up and down the field, he just sits there. Okay, it's my turn. He takes his jacket off. He goes out. If I had to pick one quarterback right now, I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Hard to argue that.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts.
Hard to argue that.
I
Now,
love that kid.
If you had a couple of wide receivers in the mix, I would probably take and that might be the difference here, right? Between Jalen Hurts and Patrick Mahomes. The one guy has Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
The other guy has Mecole Hardman and the castaway
Rashee
from
Rice.
Come on. Who's the castaway from the Giants that dropped a couple of passes
that's
against the Lions?
stupid Kadarius Toney.
Yeah, Kadarius Toney.
And then he's got Marquez Valdez.
Come
Scantling.
on, man.
Yeah, he's got nobody.
You know, so that's the difference, too.
I know. But Jalen Hurts is – I'm not comparing him to Patrick Mahomes. He's the GOAT.
I understand.
He's the GOAT. But this
understand.
kid, there's something special about this kid, man.
Dude, I saw
something special.
Speaking of something special, I saw this I think it was on This Week with George Stephanopoulos. They did a whole profile on Josh Dobbs.
Oh, how about that?
They never do like anything like Josh, because he's like this aerospace.
Yes, he's a genius.
He's a genius. And it just, you root for this guy.
Big time.
Absolutely. I root for that guy.
This is a guy who was on our team last year at this time of the year. He was on the practice squad of the Detroit Lions.
How?
How about that?
God. And then we chose here in Detroit Tim Boyle and David Blau to move ahead instead of that guy.
Somebody missed the boat on something with this guy. Because this guy, he's a winner. He has got that. He has got the it factor. I'm not saying he's a top quarterback, but to keep the Vikings alive the way he's done and the way his team has picked on, I see Kevin O'Connell smiling every time Josh Dobbs is making a play.
I don't like him. Kevin O'Connell ain't my kind of guy.
I know he is, but I like him.
There's something about Kevin O'Connell
I think he's
just
a cool
don't
dude.
like.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
something about him I
you're
just
entitled
don't
to your
like.
opinion.
And you are as well.
You can't like everybody.
I don't like him.
You like him better or Ryan Day?
Kevin O'Connell.
I thought so.
Yeah.
See, it's all compared. How you compare
who do you like tonight?
I like the Vikings tonight.
Yeah.
But you know how I'm going to pick the Vikings.
Right. Have you ever not picked the Vikings?
Pretty much.
Like every single week. If there's one team that you're always going to pick each and every week, you're going to pick the Minnesota
Vikings. I lean
Vikings.
to them. I do. I just love the way they play one-score games. They are very entertaining to me. And I know they're in our division, but I feel that the Lions are better and they will beat them. So I don't worry about, I want the Vikings to lose tonight. I really don't care. They're going to win tonight.
The Vikings?
The Vikings will win tonight.
You think so?
Yeah, and the Lions will hold serve against them. If they split, so be it.
Yeah.
But they'll hold serve against them.
Man, oh, man.
I'm not worried about them beating the Lions. I'm not.
Dang.
I believe the Lions will come back as bad a shape as they're in right now. And I complain that go get Shaq Leonard, go get Ndamukong Suh, go get Chase Young. That's just a fan in me. And I don't think I'm a dumb football guy.
No.
I don't.
I would never say that.
Why would you not want to go get a 20-year-old former captain of the Colts if he's available and you don't really got to break the bank to keep him? I don't understand.
Don't know, man.
And why didn't you sign Chase Young? Doesn't the 49ers get like a conditional pick if he leaves? I think they do.
I don't know.
Yeah, I think they do.
Let me ask you this much. I have to just in the final minute of the show.
Yeah.
The 2-14 Detroit Pistons are facing the 2-14 Washington Wizards tonight.
It's their last chance to win a game for the month of December.
It is the Detroit Pistons are actually favored to win a
Kool-Aid,
basketball
put your mic
game.
on. Tell me I'm wrong. Is this their last chance to win a game in 2023?
Look, I heard that this is the Pistons championship tonight, man. And it gets bleak if they don't pull something out tonight.
You know who's here Wednesday, right?
Who?
The Lakers.
Oh, man. They winning that game either.
No. I'm telling you, they're not winning in 2023 if they don't win tonight.
Let's see here. Pistons.
Look it up.
Man.
Dude.
Yeah,
How many people do you think will be there tonight?
You know, people have actually been coming out to the stadium.
10,000.
They've been there, but largely sometimes they're cheering for like the Warriors, other teams.
Yeah.
But no
one's cheering for the Wizards.
They'll be
nobody cheers.
Not tonight.
Not even their own
they
fans.
Were 2-1.
Poole might not play tonight. So I'm hoping that the Pistons get more luck on their side. They need a win. They need to pull out something.
Oh, God.
Because it's bleak after this.
You ready for this?
Yeah, go ahead.
Lakers, Knicks, Cavs.
On the road.
Pacers.
Yeah.
Back-to-back against Philadelphia. Then they play Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Then at Atlanta.
Yep.
Utah. Brooklyn, Boston, Toronto, Houston. They might not win another game.
They might split with Brooklyn.
They might not win another game until January 15th.
Ooh. Sheesh.
I swear to God, if the Pistons don't win tonight, they might not win until January 15th. That's the next opportunity they have.
Kool-Aid.
Yes, sir.
They will be in the lottery again. Let's face it. They will be.
Yeah, definitely.
Is there anybody out there that could help this team looking forward?
Honestly, it's going to be whatever Troy Weaver does with this cap space, man.
Let me tell you, Troy Weaver ain't making that pick. Stop right there.
Well, then you need a new owner.
Yeah, Troy Weaver will not make that pick. Just telling you.
If they're in the lottery again, you think he's gone?
Oh!
Yeah.
There will be a revolt if he's... Well, actually, there might not be a revolt if he's... Because there might not be enough people that care.
Yeah.
Actually.
Do you think Cade Cunningham remains a Piston?
I
Kool-Aid.
I do. At least for this first contract, man. This first one coming up, the Pistons are going to be the ones that can offer him the most money. And hopefully they put some good players around him, healthy players as well. Can't be the Bojan Bogdanovic types. We know he's talented, but he hasn't really been out there to be the match that they need for Cade.
Oh, man, just please.
Good luck, Pistons. Win tonight.
Please.
Win.
Oh, man. All
Just
right,
win.
Maz. Get us out of here, Maz. Go ahead. Get us out of here.
Hey, fellas, great Monday. A great Blue Monday. We'll give it to Michigan, of course, with the great win over Ohio State. 3 straight wins. Matter of fact, first Big Ten team to win, I think, 30 straight regular season games.
Ever.
Ryan. How about that? That's pretty good. Our Detroit Lions back to work today. Dan Campbell says, guess who's going to start practicing very soon? Hendon Hooker. Just want to throw that out there.
Look at that.
Just want to throw that out there. Monday Night Football tonight, Vikings and Bears. We'll see you tomorrow. Braylon's back tomorrow. We're going to redo this whole show tomorrow. So I want you guys back here tomorrow. We'll even open the phone lines for you tomorrow. How's that? It's a phone line Tuesday with Kool-Aid and the gang. Pete's going to be in the booth tomorrow. JB's going to be doing something else. So let's see you tomorrow, folks. For Ryan Ermanni, JB and Pete, and Kool-Aid, for Braylon at home, I'm Tom Mazaway. We'll see you tomorrow night.